Hello everyone, Matt here, and today I have an update review for August 10th, 2016 on Dekaron. I haven't made one of these in a while, and mostly that is because there just has not been anything to talk about. As I'm sure you guys know, the game has been seriously lacking anything recently, and there's been lots of bugs and issues, and the game has just been super boring to play. Which has just been kind of lame. However, today, uh, it's not super exciting, but there is actually some stuff to talk about, so I'm going to talk about it. First off, before I kind of get into the patch notes and the update stuff, let's talk about the new center of our Deca. If you guys haven't already noticed, they got rid of the big kind of pillar thing that was in the middle here, which is very interesting, and they added these statues. I think these are the same statues from the Colosseum area, but the patch notes said that these are supposed to represent the top players in each class for the 2v2 tournament, which is actually pretty cool. There isn't actually anything on them right now. I'm assuming that the plan is to put names on these plaques for each class, which is very exciting. So we have the Dragon Knight, the AK, the Hunter. Who's this? What is this? Oh, Incar Magician, Summoner, Signal, Baggy, Alokan, Segripper, Consorus Summoner, Half Baggy, and Black Wizard. So that is really cool. They have all the statues here, and I'm assuming that at some point they're going to put names here. And if you can actually walk through that. That's glitchy. I'm assuming that the thing because if you guys remember, there were walls in the way here. There were walls, like you couldn't get through, and now we know why we couldn't get through, and it's because they had put these in, but they had not but for some reason they were invisible, and I'm guessing it was because of the thing that was in the middle here. I'm guessing that this had some like invisible boxes or something that were causing these to not load properly. So they got rid of that, and so that gives us more room here, which is cool since these kind of take up more room. Anyway, I like the new look. I really do, and I think it's going to be exciting to see when they put names on here. And I think it'll motivate people to go do the 2v2 Coliseum more often. Once again, though, or not once again, I do think that the Coliseum at certain times is better just because there isn't a large player base. And if you go there, it's kind of hard to get it going just because, there just aren't enough people doing it. Sometimes there are. Most of the time there isn't. Anyway, that's really cool. So the other thing they did, and we'll run over there really quick, is they added back the High Priestess so you can do Honeymoon and Horror Honeymoon Dungeon, which is very exciting because I know people like doing these dungeons because, honestly, these are one of the only good sources of income in this game, from the wedding armlets and belts and from the Alipa armor and weapon boxes for the what are they called? For the, oh my gosh, what are they called? Well, you guys know what I mean. The weapon boxes from here. So that's really good. Happy they added that back. You can see the priestess is indeed back. I don't remember if she looked like that before or not. For some reason, I don't remember her looking that cool, but I could just be crazy. I don't know. That's back, so that's giving some people some stuff to do, which is good. Personally, I'm kind of like, it's just another thing. So they did add some stuff to the D shop too. They added these silver and gold packs back, which is cool, I guess. I don't know. People can waste money getting these 50% and whatever. I mean, I guess it's making them money. They got the random boxes again. The new Seed Dream random box, Honeymoon ticket box, and I think these ones are already in here. Yeah, they were. So that's cool. I think that's all I really had to show you in game. So we are now going to quickly switch over to my browser so I can show you some other stuff. Alright, so now we're going to look at some of the patch notes type things that they posted. So the first thing I went to is the notifications. This is where they post some of the patch notes. One kind of weird thing they do is they've been a little bit, sorry, this is a little bit off topic, but they've been a little bit inconsistent about saying when maintenance is and saying when it's going to start up. Sometimes it's in the notifications, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's on Facebook, sometimes it's on the main page, and it's just not consistent. I really wish they would be more consistent about that. I think that it should just always be here in the notifications. Anyway, sidetracked. So let's read through this. First off, after this maintenance, which I want to say was like 5 hours, so that's a little crazy that it took them 5 hours to patch in things that were already there. Not the statues, but like, Honeymoon was part of the game before, so it's a little ridiculous. Anyway, they did get it done. They did a 24-hour boost on XP and item drops, which is great. I'm actually probably going to go farm some Sacred Claw later tonight, which will be great. Hopefully I can get some stuff I need. They said that the High Priestess has returned to Ardeka, bringing Honeymoon and Horror Honeymoon Dungeon. Now, this is interesting. They didn't actually say anything about Horror Honeymoon Dungeon being seasonal here, because we all know that in the past, Horror Honeymoon Dungeon was seasonal. This one is not. So we'll just have to see if they keep it in or not. I think it would be a good permanent addition, but we'll just have to see. So the invisible walls turned out to be the statues, which I showed you earlier, which is cool, and the statues represent the top of each class in the 2v2 event. Once again, it doesn't really represent anything right now because there's nothing on those plaques, but I'm assuming that they're going to put something on them. I don't know. The in-car and battlefield rune that we got from the Hot Time event last weekend now opens, so that was a little bit silly, but they fixed that. And they updated the D-Shop, like I mentioned, the gold and silver packs, honeymoon boxes, all that good stuff. Nothing I really care about. Moving on, I just wanted to say that I really love, especially on Facebook, I really love the little things that they make for each update. Like 1,000 free DKC or updated D-Shop, or I don't give a crap about the D-Shop being updated, but I like the images that they make, especially on Facebook. They just look really cool. So I want to give props to the Papaya team on that, because that is just being done very well, and I'm excited to see that actually in coordination with new content. Like, I'm very excited. I think it'll look really good. This is the actual post about Honeymoon and Horror Dungeon returning. Once again, this is actually different than the post that's in the announcements. It's still talking about that, but they go into a little more detail, saying that these have returned. They also talk about what you can get in the dungeon, which is interesting. See at this last paragraph here, they're like, try your luck in the Horror Honeymoon Dungeon for a chance to find a wedding belt, wedding armlet, wedding ring, costume, or 9% box waiting for you. So that's cool that they're actually talking a little bit about the drops, which Nexon never did, even though we already know what the drops are at this point. And they're also saying, or if new armor is what you're looking for, complete the Horror Honeymoon Dungeon and see what items you can score. Probably talking about the Alipa and the weapon that you can get from that as well. So that's cool. New armor. It's not really new. It's been out for a while, but maybe it'd be new for you. I don't know. So that's interesting. There's also a post from either last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, that I wanted to highlight. I don't care about the D-Shop being updated. What I do care about is this thing at the end where it says, look forward to an official announcement regarding upcoming events and Action 19 soon. Now that is cool. However, this was posted 2 weeks ago now, and we haven't had anything yet. So once again, soon being pretty relative. We haven't heard anything about upcoming events or upcoming new events, and we haven't heard anything about Action 19 yet. So hopefully soon, in quotation marks, we will actually hear about those things. So the last thing I wanted to show you guys that I thought was kind of cool was this. This is on the Dekaron Facebook page and under one of the comments. And some guy or girl, I don't even remember, that's a kind of intense name. I'm just going to go with Daniel because that's at the end. Says, can you make this game less pay to win so other people can build their sets too? That was the biggest problem with Nexon. It's not fair when some players are too OP and the others are too weak because of their gear. I agree and disagree with this question, first off, before I read the answer. I don't think it's unfair that players are stronger than other players if they worked for that. What I do think is unfair is when someone can just buy their way to the top. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a point too, especially in my DK Square career, where the only way that I'm going to be passing anyone up is if I put money into the game. Like, it's just like that's the only way it's going to happen soon anyway. And I'm not willing to do that, so I'm just sitting in the same place, hoping for updates where I can make money, which is why I'm actually happy about the horror honeymoon dungeon, because I can do that once a day now, and hopefully try to save up some money for some other stuff that'll help me out. But so Dekaron responds with, "Our goal is to keep the game away from being pay to win. We appreciate your feedback." That's funny. What I find funny about that is based on what they did when Papaya took over, putting a $50 costume in the D shop that's like ridiculously overpowered, and then also adding in a belt that is now one of the best belts in the game, where the fastest way to get it is to just buy the items in the D shop. So that is like the exact opposite of their statement right here, which I just think is really funny, because that is definitely pay to win, and they're saying they want to go away from being pay to win. So my suggestion is to not do things like that. And I mean, I bought the costume because it's really good. I mean, I don't like spending that much money on this game. It actually really makes me mad, and I almost regretted it like right after doing it. But the thing is to be viable in the high-end PvP, you have to have it now. Like, it's ridiculous. So that's silly. And I like how this person's like, "And how do you intend to do that?" Thank you. That is such a good question. And the Dekaron team says, "You'll just have to wait and see. However, we are not pleased if things become too unbalanced between players, if it will ruin the experience." And then there's actually lots of comments underneath this, like joking about like, "Oh, then why'd you add a $50 costume?" Like I was saying and stuff like that. But I don't have those in here. I just think this response is interesting, that they won't be pleased if it becomes too unbalanced, because it's not very balanced right now at all. Some things are balanced. You know, the game is more balanced than I think people make it out to be. If you are like top-end, high-end gear against a top-end, high-end gear, and you're both buffed out like crazy, it's pretty hard to kill each other. Depending on what class you are, I mean, that does make a difference, but I don't know, it's fairly balanced. But the issue is that you have to get all that crap, and a lot of times you have to spend real money to actually get all that crap. For example, emblems. The only way to get emblems are to spend money, and you can't even spend money on that to get emblems right now. The red DK wings, those are just random. I mean, I gotta tell you guys, I have gotten like a lot, and I mean a lot, of those random boxes that you farmed from doing Coliseum, and I've never gotten better than a 30-day, and I know people have got it like within the first like 5 whatever, and that's why I hate that random crap. I really do. I wish it was just like a set number that you could farm to get that item. There's nothing wrong with a bunch of people having that high-end PvP item, because guess what? I think the PvP is way more fun when everyone has more balanced gear, because then, you know, it's actually like a challenge to fight each other. It's not just, oh, I just got like too skilled and I can't hit crap on that person. It's more like, oh, we had a really good exchange, you know, a fight that actually goes on for a couple, like, even like a minute or two. I mean, how cool would that be, instead of it just ending right away to a Meister? I don't know. My opinion. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys in this video. I do actually have a guide that I am putting together that I should be making this weekend. Hopefully it'll stay relevant. I got bored not making any videos because I'm waiting for Action 19 to make guides, because I don't want my guides to be outdated, but I'm going to make this one anyway, and hopefully it won't be outdated right away. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, I want you guys to keep in mind, you know, I always love having people join me for these update reviews. So if you're ever interested, you can message me on YouTube, or you can message me in-game, Resom, R-E-S-O-M, capital R, and I would love to have you on here. I use Discord personally, so that's how I do that, so I can get you my Discord information, and we can go from there if you're interested. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments. And as always, guys, until next time, take care.